Guys, I have just dived into the mind of a genius. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harry's Book Cafe. Today, let's talk about Bill Gates' autobiography, Source Code. I think that's pretty clever name for a computer guy. This book is written February 2025, so it's still very, very new, and I believe is his only autobiography to date. Now, Bill Gates has always been a hero of mine, not because of what he's currently doing with the Gates Foundation, trying to eradicate certain diseases and helping the poor of the world. He's philanthropist, sort of philosophy really contrasting deeply and starkly with many other super riches in the world, and that really elevates what's already in my mind to be one of the best guys on earth. I've been using computers since early 80s back in school when I was a kid, and back then Windows did not exist. We're using a system called Microsoft DOS, and that was still Bill Gates' idea. So every time you want to enter a command, you have to press CD space something enter in order for the computer to do what you wanted. That's how early it was. But when the first Windows came out, we were like, whoa, what is this? So we've never seen anything like that. And what is that, a mouse? But when it first came out, it was bigger impact, bigger revolution than the first Apple phone. So this book documents his early lives, when he was born, all the way to the very, very beginning of Microsoft, when he dropped out of Harvard University. Now, it's a transformation. You see what Bill Gates was like when he was young, when he was in primary school, secondary school, all the way to university. There is a clear path of transformation. Bill Gates was a genius, right? Very, very clever, especially at math. He was just naturally good at math. However, when in secondary and primary school, he was afraid to be seen as geek, so he grabbed this Joker persona to wear as armor. He finds within that persona a sense of security. When he became older and he joined a most prestigious secondary independent school called Lakeside in Seattle, he continued to use this Joker-ish persona, only to realize that here in this prestigious private school, they value academic excellence rather than being a joker. And therefore, he was very quickly sort of get rid of that armor and invest wholeheartedly in his study. And he was a genius. He passes all his exams without issue. Then the book really started to get a little bit more interesting, and that was when he first encountered computer, and that was in the early 70s. He perhaps, with his friends, are one of the earliest people in the world to actually encounter and being good at computers. And that from that moment on, you can see this trajectory, this momentum that just continues evolving and building. There's no stopping him. He and his friends not only good at computers but also good at commercial thinking. So they were quickly able to master how to write languages, basic capital letters, language for computers, and they were able to sell their skills, producing softwares for his own school and also other enterprises. And from that moment on, that was really just the beginning of Microsoft. Even Microsoft didn't exist back then, but the business model started to solidify. Gets even more interesting, and that was, the beginning, the starts of the establishment of Microsoft, and also his time at Harvard University, which is, to me personally, quite interesting to see that although he's been number one at his primary school and secondary school, as soon as he joined Harvard, he realizes that he's just average. And that was quite an eye-opener to me. I found that really, really interesting. But during his Harvard year, he's also started Microsoft, and two enterprises are really pulling him into two directions. In the end, he gave up Harvard and focused wholeheartedly on Microsoft. Now, I find Bill Gates and Elon Musk quite similar in one particular way, and that is work ethics. Bill Gates described in his book that he once spent whole full days in his room just coding, right, non-stop. He described how tired he was and how unconsciously he fall asleep, hit the keyboard without knowing, wake up 2 or 3 hours later and keep writing. This is something quite astonishing, right? You can only be great in human societies if you apply to this crazy work ethics, and that's what was very, very motivational to me as well. It inspires me to read harder, work harder, try everything harder. I find the whole book incredibly interesting. If you are someone who is inspired to be someone to be in the IT industry or AI industry, and you want to read the mind of one of the industry's genius, then this book is very, very inspirational, and I highly recommend that you give it a try. I'm sure it will motivate you to work even harder. A slight negative side is that it can get a little bit technical, especially towards the end of the book. So if you are unfamiliar with early computers and computer languages, you might have to Google a lot to find out what he was referring to. One good thing about this book, and as many memoirs and autobiographies, is that there is a quite extensive picture sections which showcasing you who, some of the guys that he was referring. I hope I'm pointing out, I can't see the screen of the camera. Paul Allen and young Bill Gates. Paul Allen and Kent Evans both were his friends, were quite exclusively written in this book, and I find that really, really interesting as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you find the review interesting. Next week, I'll bring you something completely different altogether. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give it a thumb up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and help keeping this tiny channel keep growing. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day wherever you are in the world. Cheerio.